Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this special IRD Invest this afternoon. This is our tech-focused IRD Invest, and it's a great pleasure to have the team from Jaxsta here this afternoon to present to you all. So I'd like to introduce first CEO Jacqui Louez Schoorl. Hi, Jacqui. Thanks for coming.
Hi, Jane. Great to be here.
And also Jorge Nigaglioni, who's the CFO, Company Secretary and Director. Thank you as well, Jorge.
Thank you, Jane.
Pleasure. So Jaxsta is the world's largest public-facing and most connected music credits database and technology. With the rise of digital music and the loss of CD booklets and album jackets, which I always loved, Jaxsta is positioned as the go-to authoritative source of official music credits information, allowing consumers to discover and recognise the people behind the music they enjoy. Yesterday afternoon, I was speaking with a few investors about Jaxsta, and they were very interested in understanding better the business model, how things work with respect to copyright, and what the point of difference is. So we'll get you speaking about that today. So Jacqui and Jorge will provide an update on the company's activities for about 15 minutes, and after that we'll then run into Q&A. If you'd like to ask a question, you're welcome to do that using the Q&A button in the Zoom function at the bottom of the screen. So with that, Jacqui, I might ask you to share your screen and I'll hand over to you and Jorge to present.
Great. Thanks so much, Jane. So as Jane explained, I'm Jacqui Louez Schoorl. I'm the CEO, co-founder and director of Jaxsta. So it's our pleasure to give you an update on Jaxsta, assuming that many of you may not actually be aware of what we are. So it's thrilling for us today to explain to you how we are becoming the music metadata marketplace. Excuse me 1 second. There we go. So you're probably asking, what is Jaxsta, and wanting to know what Jaxsta is about. Well, we're a music company and we're using proprietary technology to develop the world's most comprehensive official database of music credits. So what that basically means in layman's terms is, if you think of the old vinyl jacket, CD booklet, which Jane mentioned, it had all the credits of everybody that performed and played on the track, from the artist all the way through to the mastering or mixing engineer. And all of those people deserve their credit. And it's important because those credits help drive data and help drive decisions, everything from collaborations to being paid. We deliver the official data, which is sourced directly from the custodians of the data. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. If you think about major record labels, independent labels, think about publishers, industry associations, charts providers, companies like the Recording Academy, and we have all of their nomination and winning data for the last 63 years. We collate all of that data from all over the world. It comes into our system where it's deduplicated, it's cross-referenced, mapped, and then linked together. And then that's made into a very powerful service, one which is our front-facing website, jaxsta.com, and the other are through our additional services, including our commercial API and data solutions. So if you think about Google, when you want to search something, you Google it. For anything music related, when you want to know the official information, you Jaxsta it. I'm going to throw to Jorge, who's going to explain our various business opportunities.
So the way our business works, we have 3 business segments that we operate in order to address the needs of our customers across the full spectrum. So we have Jaxsta Pro, which is our subscription service, in which we provide individual members with access to the credit information and additional tools such as charting, chart alerts, contacts, marketplaces that they can use to enhance their individual careers and be able to connect with others in order to look for the next gig, the next opportunity. We also have our Jaxsta data solutions, and this is our big data play. This is where we take the power of the Jaxsta database and help customers who need to make big decisions, and they need lots of data to really find out, how to best improve their operations, how to best improve their service to customers, being able to deliver, top-end value. So our Jaxsta data solutions provides our API or our custom data solutions in order for customers to maximize what they can do from music metadata. Lastly, we have our Jaxsta e-commerce and marketing solutions, in which we are able to provide custom campaigns, attach e-commerce merchandise solutions in order for the Jaxsta Pro members to enhance their offerings and be able to increase their revenue base. With that, I'll pass it back to Jacqui to show just the breadth of the Jaxsta database and how much it really entails.
Yes, thanks, Jorge. So as we all know, data is today's currency and it drives decisions, and our database is ever expanding and growing. So to put that into some context, we currently have over 115 million individual official credits across 32 million unique recordings, and that's growing every single day. We just surpassed a new milestone. We have over 70,000 Jaxsta Pro subscribers and over 20,000 official claimed profiles, which I'll explain momentarily what that means. And we have 45 million plus individual pages in Jaxsta. Now, to put that into context, Wikipedia has 6.5 million English pages across their repertoire. So the fact that we already have 45 million pages is quite extraordinary. And we're ingesting over 100,000 new credits a day. So I mentioned a moment ago about Jaxsta Pro profiles and claiming profiles and how we've had 20,000 profile claims. It's really important in the industry that creatives have the ability to promote their work. I'm pretty sure that almost everybody that would be attending this session today has their own LinkedIn page. If you're a music creative, you don't really have one because it's not where your world works, if that makes sense. Record label artists and repertoire managers, for example, aren't living on LinkedIn. What they're doing is they're finding what's charting on Spotify, often going to Instagram to find out who worked on a track, and then reverse engineering their way to that individual. And Jaxsta Pro solves that issue. And if you think about it, there's nowhere else in the world where you can go where your CV has already been verified and validated and put together for you. And we've done that. We have over 12 million profiles that are actually already curated, sitting there ready to be claimed. And the process has just started. We do have a verification process. So when an individual comes in to claim their profile, we have to know that they are who they say they are. And that adds some serious credibility to Jaxsta, that there is a system there to ensure that people are claiming the right profiles. And by claiming profiles, the individuals have the ability to promote themselves in a way they haven't been able to in the past. They can update their image, their bio, their contacts, their social information, and the contact information of their entire team, their managers, labels, publishers. And what that does is it helps build their profile, but it also helps build Jaxsta's data, which then infiltrates the other levels of our business. I also mentioned the 20,000 claimed profiles. So this just gives you an idea of some. I'm sorry, I have to tell you, I have a puppy and every now and then she's going to bark in the background. So if you hear that, it's Sammy saying hello. So 20,000 claimed profiles, and it includes everybody from Adele to Billie Eilish to Phineas O'Connell to Cher, industry legends like Bruce Springsteen and Bob Marley and the Wailers. So we've had some major labels claim their profiles, some very big publishing companies and management companies. You're probably wondering what is a data solution and what's an API, so I'm going to hand over to Jorge, who will explain.
Thanks, Jacqui. Many people do ask us exactly, what is a data solution and what does it mean to them specifically? So we have a commercial API that's available to be used by customers for their specific needs, so they can work with Jaxsta to see what information they need to draw in order to enhance their services. So we already have a set of tools that it's available, but we work with each customer to find out what additional needs they have and what additional information we can provide, or how to enhance the information that we have for them, or vice versa, how to enhance the information that they currently have in order to make it more valuable. An example of this is on the next slide, where we have our partnership with SongTrader. Now, SongTrader engaged with us in September, and we have a licensing agreement with them in which they provide all of our Jaxsta Pro users with a profile, a neighboring rights service by which our users can claim neighboring rights through the Trader platform. In order to enhance that service, SongTrader uses our API to draw information about that specific profile to make sure that they have the full catalog and full information required to do their research and provide all the best service back to the Jaxsta Pro user regarding their neighboring rights. So that's one example in which data was able to enhance a service. When we look at our data solutions, we have a few differentiators, and this is why we believe that we're better than anything established in the market. First of all, we are the data broker, organizer, and enhancer. You know, we're constantly getting more data deals so that we go through various levels of deep linking our data. We organize, we deduplicate it, and we also enhance it. We're looking at both enhancing our data and our partners' data so that it's in the best shape possible. It provides the most meaning and usefulness to the end customers. We have a lot of data, as you saw from our previous slide, but we need to make sure we can deliver it efficiently, and that's where our commercial API and our custom solutions is geared at. We make sure that we can declutter. Many releases have multiple distributors, multiple agencies related to it. We need to make sure that it's set up so that people can use it effectively. You know, we expand the data opportunities. We partner with our customers and our providers in order to enhance what data can do in the music industry. So we're constantly looking at both improving what we have as a service, but also what we can get from partners as well. And lastly, we're working on industry identifiers. So we are partnered, and we have become a registration agency for ISNI in order to be an identifier. With all these tools, we are truly the music metadata marketplace for the entire industry. And with that, I'll pass it to Jacqui so that she can explain about official credits and what that means to us.
Thanks, Jorge. So yeah, that's a really valid point in terms of what does official mean. Well, most importantly, it's trusted data. So we get the data, you know, directly from the source, which is critically important. We then clean the data and we match it together, and that delivers, you know, a consistent and accurate data to our customers, which is critically important. Added to this, the fact that our data is not crowdsourced without unknown validation is really important. And our platform allows for collaboration with our partners, some of who you can see on the side of the screen here. We're always working collectively with them to make sure that we're improving collectively the metadata mission. And our data is diverse. This is just a list of some of the partners that we're working with. So we receive over 1 million labels through our 235,000 official data sources, and we act independently to join all of those official data silos together. So that means that Jaxsta becomes the platform of choice. In terms of key API and data solution markets, we're moving forward in the short term with the key markets, which are listed in green. So that's everything from fitness, entertainment, media, social media companies, DSPs, of course, which makes a logical alignment there, and then in other markets for future engagement. So immediate usage and some of the conversations that we're having for our commercial API right now, everybody's interested in credit metadata, licensing metadata, so publishing and recording. Charts mapping is something that's of interest to a lot of our partners, content enhancement, and music sync data, so film, TV, gaming, and advertising. And in terms of our short-term focus, we're going to be delivering on all three segments, as Jorge referred to earlier. So becoming the authority is critically important to us, which obviously drives increased site traffic. Becoming the key industry resource, so increasing membership for Jaxsta Pro. Helping people to promote their careers. So all of those members, as they claim their profiles, they help propel Jaxsta in their field within the music industry. And then diversifying revenue generating segments. So our initial data solution revenue streams and commercial API, it's our intention to get at least 2 deals done before the end of calendar year this year. And keeping users engaged, so maintaining excellent customer service, which I'm very proud to say we are maintaining. And tailoring our message. So 90% of the enhancements to the website actually come from our users. Spreading the word, of course, so promoting our unique value propositions and features is critically important. and diversifying revenue generating segments. So initial marketing solutions and e-commerce is critical. Jorge, do you want to speak about medium term?
So regarding our medium term, as we look to the future, we're obviously looking to expand our revenues. You know, we're moving forward and expanding our big data opportunities. While we're starting with some of the initial deals now, we see some really big opportunities that we're working at the early stages now in order to promote into the future. So that's where we see the big long-term value for Jaxsta. We want to generate additional value propositions, you know, based on this data. Every time we engage with customers, we find new opportunities that we can work with. And right now we want to make sure that we focus on growing our stable base and then expanding that value proposition over time to increase the value of Jaxsta. You know, we're looking to improve the music metadata ecosystem. So we're working with the registration agents, with all our partners, to make sure that the metadata goes into a format that succeeds for the future. So this is not an afterthought, making sure that, you know, things are being added to metadata, you know, that there's a cohesive form factor moving forward. There are future revenue streams that we have not engaged on at the time. We're very focused on the 3 business segments at this moment in time in order to make sure we deliver effectively on those. But long term, we have other revenue streams that we can focus on, and we want to get to those as soon as possible without risking our core business. You know, we continue to promote industry awareness, especially for our partners and also for our Jaxsta Pro members. You know, the community is very important, and we need to maximize that value. So we want to be working in partnership with everyone in the industry rather than from the outside. And lastly, you know, we do see a lot of synergies with various strategic industry players. We saw it with Songtradr in the deal that we engaged, and we see some other synergies that we can do to enhance both Jaxsta and the industry as a whole for the medium term. Jacqui, I'll hand it over for you to finish.
Thank you. So yes, I mean, that's a top line overview. We have, all bias aside, a great board. Linda Jenkinson is our chair. And you have myself, Jorge, Brett Cottle, and Ken Gaunt. Linda was one of the first women to list, a New Zealand woman to list a company on the NASDAQ in New Zealand, and she's got extraordinary growth in Silicon Valley, tech experience. And then you have myself and Jorge. Brett Cottle ran APRA AMCOS in Australia for over 30 years, extraordinary music industry experience and tenure. And Ken Gaunt, who is the former CEO of Mobile Arm that we rolled up into, and also has extensive business experience. So a very solid board driving the business forward to growth and to an exciting future. So with that, I'll say thank you so much for your time, and we'll open it up to questions.
Excellent. Thanks very much for your presentation, guys. So I guess just a sort of an out of interest one for me to start with, I saw we had Louez Schoorl noted with a Jaxsta profile sort of halfway through the deck. So sort of led me to question what the origin story was behind Jaxsta. How did you come up with the idea, and was it bred from something close to your heart?
It was actually, Jane. So I started volunteering in television when I was 12, and then started working in the film industry when I was 18. So I knew firsthand how important credits were, because I got every other subsequent production job. And when I met my husband, who's our co-founder, Louez Schoorl, I was thrown into the forefront of music creatives and what they go through to get their next job. And it's really interesting. It's not like how the rest of us work. It's all about the years. So a manager, an artist, a label will hear a song and be like, I want that sound. Who were the songwriters on that track? Who produced it? Who mastered it? And then they go on the hunt to find those credits. And in the past, they used to be on album jackets, hence the play on Jaxsta, their jacket stars. A lot of people think I named the company after myself, which is a fair assumption, but that is not what happened. So that's really how it came to be, from the experience that I had working in film where we had an amazing resource called IMDb. And I see that there's a question here from Maya asking about that. And you're right, it's a beautiful analogy. I wanted us to be the IMDb for the music industry, working with only official credits. So that's what we've been focused on, and that's kind of how the idea of the business came to pass.
Excellent. Okay, well, thank you for also answering Maya's first question in your response there. So there was another question we might as well knock off at the same time. Are you planning to be the authority for video game scores as well?
I am really fascinated about the video game world. I have a friend who just cleared 1,500 tracks for the new one of the new computer games that's coming out in a couple of weeks, and I just realized I'm not allowed to say which one it is, but he cleared 1,500 songs for this one computer game. And I've been thinking for a long time it'd be great to have a Jaxsta for the gaming world. In terms of music scores, Maya, if anything has been released through a distributor that we're working with, and we're working with most of them, then the chances are it will actually be in the Jaxsta database. So that just means, any one of us right now could go and record a song in our living room and then upload it through CD Baby or TuneCore or any of the distributors, and then it would find its way into Jaxsta. As long as it's going through an official distribution channel, it will make its way into Jaxsta. What we don't have in the database is any music that hasn't actually been released.
Right. Okay. Interesting. And so just sort of extending on that idea, where we're talking about other sources of content and specialized areas like gaming, if you were to move into that sort of area, would you see it all still happening under the Jaxsta brand, or would you see that there are opportunities to leverage your, I guess, platform and tech backbone, but actually have solutions for other areas?
Yes, I mean, look, the architecture that our amazing dev team has built is quite extraordinary and extensive, so it does lend itself to other verticals. Obviously, we've just launched with music, so we have quite a bit of work to do there. But there is obviously a kernel of an idea in our minds about expanding into other industries with the system that we've built, because it makes sense. It could lend itself to a lot of different industries.
Okay, great. Just talk to us a bit about competition. Who do you see as being your main competitors?
Yeah, look, it's an interesting one, because there are some other brilliant databases that exist in the industry that have been around for a very long time, including Music Brains, Discogs, and All Music, and they're all incredible services in their own right, and they all serve a different purpose. And Discogs is the world's largest secondhand vinyl store, and if you're into vinyl, if anyone's into vinyl, I strongly recommend you check it out. But one of the things that differentiates us, or the key thing that differentiates us, is that we are getting data directly from the source. It's not crowdsourced. And we add supplementary data to our picture of the release, if you will. So when you go into Jaxsta, not only can you see all of the credits, you can see how it's charted. You can see the lyrics. You can see if it's had any nominations or significant wins of, say, Grammys, for example. And we're partnering with more partners all the time. But also, too, if you go in and you click on another individual's name. So let's just say, for example, you've gone into, just show my age here, everyone, John Mayer's Waiting on the World to Change, and you've clicked on that song and you've seen, hey, Steve Jordan has a couple of credits here and they're all different. He has a co-producer credit, a songwriter credit, and a drumming credit. You could click on his name, and then your world will explode immediately when you realize just how much this individual has worked on. But whatever you click on, you know that all of that information has come from the custodians of the data. It's come from the labels, the publishers, the industry associations. So you can really trust that data. And I think something that's really interesting about that is that we have accountants, lawyers, and journalists using our site every single day. And it's journalists from some of the biggest publications in the world that I'm sure a lot of you are reading. And it's lawyers who are wanting to confirm, the list of songs that a songwriter's written on, because they are about to sell their catalogue. And it's accountants who are searching for their neighbouring rights or other royalties. So the fact that the information has come directly from the source and has been deduplicated is very important to the industry. So it does set us into another realm, if you will, in terms of the quality of the database.
Excellent. Just talk to us quickly. We might make this the last question because I'm conscious we're sort of close to time. Talk to us about the share register. Have you got any institutions on the register at the moment? What's the makeup?
I might let Jorge answer this one.
Okay.
We've had a few institutionals over time, such as IFM, Benelong, Hiscox. Since the Song Trader deal, our shareholder base has diversified further, and it is something that we are conscious of going into the future. One of the primary things that we're working on is also making sure that we have even more representation in our shareholding from the music industry itself. So we want to make sure that we have a good representation from the industry and also from the various institutional investors in Australia.
Excellent. Okay, thank you. And I presume that you're probably due to put out a quarterly report before the end of October. Yeah, so
That's correct.
Excellent. Okay, guys. Well, thank you. It's been a real pleasure to have you present today. Thanks so much for making time. And if anybody has any questions that we didn't manage to get through today, please feel free to either reach out to me directly or to Jacqui or Jorge. And we look forward to being in touch.
Brilliant. Thanks, Jane. Appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you.